I'm Sonal and my profile is 997. I did my undergrad from College of Vocational Studies in English Honors, Bachelor in Arts, and completed the session in 2024. Then I took a gap year for 1 year, 2025, prepared for all these MBA exams, and then I got my code through ZAT, in which I scored 89 percentile. So my IFMR interview was on March 21st, 2025. There were two panelists. It was an offline interview. So there were two panelists, both male. I wrote it down. One was in his early 30s and one was in his late 40s or early 50s. The first question when I entered was introduce yourself, other than what is written in your CV or the application form. So I told about my leadership skills and what I did in college. Then they checked my ID proof. They asked us to bring one original ID proof, which was my Aadhaar card for me. And then, so I've been a science student in 11th, 12th, then art student, and then I was wanting to get into a business school. So they were very skeptical about it. They asked, why do you want to change your career path so continuously? And how will you assure us that you will not have future mood swings? So I told them that they are not mood swings, first of all. These are conscious choices that I'm making. And it's because one thing was common that I was at leadership roles in all the places. So I did not bother about it. So there were a lot of question asked. The other one, the younger panelist, asked me that if you'll be introduced to new subjects because you've never been to, economics, account, and stuff. So how will you manage it, and how will you feel about learning new subjects when almost all the other students were already aware of it? So I told them that this does not come to me as a scary thing, but I would rather love to learn new things and stuff. Then later they shifted. Uh, a lot of questions were asked on this thing. I think the more you talk about something, the more they'll ask on the same thing. So if you can change the direction yourself, it works. So for me, the next question was since I was from English honors, so they asked me name some Shakespeare books, one William Shakespeare's book. So I named Macbeth. Then they asked me if I had a favorite writer or someone. So I told Jane Austen and some of her novels. She was a feminist writer too. So then they asked me what is one quality that a leader must possess. So I told them that empathy. And then the older panelists kept asking about the same leadership thing, that if we were in a position, he gave me a conditional question, which was if I were a team member and you were the leader. So, and if I were just not happy with you, so how would you, make it happen? Because you cannot kick me out of the team. So how will you just handle all of that? So I told that the first step is to communicate because, yes, we'll communicate where the problem lies. Is it in my attitude, the way I work, or the way I speak to you? And then he said, let's say that your attitude is nice and everything you say is nice, and your work, the way you work is absolutely perfect. Then, so I asked that, so the member has a problem with me for just being me. So he said yes. And then I told them that I would talk to the other team members and then we can communicate, because there might be some reason a person does not get mad at someone for absolutely nothing. Then there were questions about, then he asked me that my ZAT scorecard, I had 93 percentile in verbal, like all the percentiles were decent, but in GK I had a poor score, 6 marks out of 20. So he said, why is this so poor? And I told them that I was not reading current affairs news, anything at that time. It was January and I was completely focused on my cat and my dad snap, etc. So he said, what are you doing about it now? So I told him that I've been following news from first post on YouTube and reading newspapers. So then he asked me, what does First Post cover? So it covers all the geopolitical news across the globe. So the interviewer asked me to tell one geopolitical news, and I told them about the American putting tariffs on India, and which will be implemented from April 2nd. And then they ask some more questions. What are tariffs? How do they affect the country? How do they affect America? And how do they affect India? And what do you think? How will it impact the economy of our country? So I said that I did answer all these questions. Then yes. So they asked me what all colleges did you apply to? I told them I applied. I wanted to get the question rephrased because we apply to a lot of colleges, but what we get the call from matters. Because like I applied to all the IMs and stuff, so how does it matter? So he asked, no, what colleges did you apply to? I told them I applied to all the IMs and a lot of colleges, and one of the older panelists would not let me answer, and he would throw another question in my face even before I would answer the first questions. I told them the name of the colleges, and they asked the preference, and they asked, since you are from Delhi, but I'm not from Delhi, I'm from Sonipat, Haryana. So they're like, okay. And they said that what will be the effects of changing everything to Chennai. Sorry. I said that I'm very much looking forward to it and I would enjoy it and it would be new experience and stuff. Then they asked me about if I have some knowledge about the subjects of business. I told them that I've been learning Excel properly, like how to use it professionally, everything about Excel and financial literacy. I've been reading a book on. They asked me what what is the importance of financial literacy and what is financial literacy. I told them that it is how money works and it's very important. Everyone should be taught it in school, etc. So the next thing he asked was what is the difference between financial comprehension and financial literacy, to which I didn't know the answer. He said okay, and then he asked the name of the author of the book, which I didn't know again, but he was okay with it. Then the interview kind of wrapped up. They asked me if I had any questions for them, and I said, I asked a really silly question. I said, will I be offered the PGDM core program or any other program? And they told me that we do not have PGDM core, we have MBA. So there's a difference, right? That PGDM is diploma and MBA. So that's weird, but okay. And then the another question was I asked for my feedback, but they said it's not a feedback session. So I do not suggest people to ask for their feedback, but they did tell me later that we are only skeptical about the fact that you have been changing your streams constantly. And now, since you are, saying that you are very focused for an MBA, so we just have to believe in you, we can't do much about it. So they asked that, and you do not know about the subject, so but you have been learning about it, reading GK news, improving financial literacy and stuff. So we hope that you I told them I'll accomplish the basic concepts, learn all of them before my admission the session commences from June, July. So they were pretty much okay about it, I think. Yeah. So this was my whole interview experience.
Looks like they grilled you on each and every question that you answered.
Yes, one of them, the elder one, was just not ready to accept my answer as that he would ask even more questions and he would not let me complete my answer, then throw another question at me. But I was also very confident and I was very actively answering all his questions.
टोटल ये प्रोसेस था पीआई का कितनी देर चला आपका?
20 minutes.
एंड ये एवरेज टाइमिंग थी वहां पर या आपका ज्यादा चला?
नहीं, मुझे लगा मेरा ज्यादा चला। वहां पे 10-15 मिनट चल रहे थे, पर मेरा काफी देर हो गई थी, तो मुझे लगा था ज्यादा चला। शायद 20 मिनट तक लगा था मैंने।
एंड इसमें सिर्फ डीडे में पीआई ही था या और भी कुछ शेड्यूल था आपका, कोई और प्रोसेस?
नहीं, बस पीआई ही था।
ठीक है। चलिए सोनल, काफी अच्छा लगा आपसे आपका इंटरव्यू एक्सपीरियंस जान के। एंड गाइस, आप भी अपना इंटरव्यू एक्सपीरियंस हमारे साथ शेयर कर सकते हैं। आप मुझे डीएम कर सकते हैं इंस्टाग्राम या लिंक्डइन पे। साथ ही आप सोनल के साथ भी कनेक्ट हो सकते हैं। इनकी इंस्टाग्राम आईडी भी मैं इस वीडियो के डिस्क्रिप्शन में ऐड कर दूंगा, वहां पर जाके आप इनके साथ कनेक्ट हो सकते हैं। बाकी ऐसे इन्फॉर्मेटिव वीडियोस के लिए guys हमारे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर लीजिए। वीडियो अगर अच्छी लगे तो लाइक एंड शेयर।